Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you VHF packet and BBS, Bulletin Board Systems. I will be using an ICOM IC 9100 90100. And yeah, let's get started. Just a couple quick notes here. You have to download, for ICOM radios at least, to make this work properly. You're going to need to download a piece of software here called CAT 200. Excuse me there. Yeah, it's the CAT 7200 PTT controller. Excuse me. This program was designed for the ICOM 7200, 7200, but it also works with any radio, any ICOM radio that has a built-in USB port for modulation. Anyway, you're going to need to download this program. And the reason why is ICOM does not give a dedicated COM port for PTT control. Rather, it's part of their CIV scheme or CAT scheme. And a lot of older software, or just software in general, new or old, doesn't have that capability to understand that PTT could be part of the CIV control. So you will need to download this program and create a virtual COM port. Now, I'm not going to go into that, but rather I will put a link down below in the description that will take you to a website where you can download this program and follow a step-by-step guide. What you'll need to do, though, in order to create a virtual COM port, if you're running definitely Windows 10, but I believe it's Windows 7 and up, you will need to temporarily disable Microsoft's signed driver ability, and you would do that under Start, and you would go to Settings, go to, Update and Security, and if you go to Recovery, Advanced Startup, and then just Restart Now, and then you would follow the prompts. It's under Troubleshooting, Advanced Options or Additional Options, or something like that. And then that's where you would enable or disable, that's where you would temporarily disable Microsoft's unsigned drivers and whatnot. Excuse me, like I said, I'm not going to go into that, but I just want to let you guys know that's what you need to do. And like I said, I will put a link in the description down below that will take you to a website where you can download this CAT 7200 PTT control program, as well as a kind of a detailed guide what you need to do to set up the virtual COM port. Okay, sorry about that. Needed a quick drink. Okay, so now that you know that, what we're going to do now is we're going to fire up this program, and I'll talk about this real briefly. So I have my radio running right now. So these are the two virtual COM ports that I have set up, COM 10 and COM 11. Remember, this is for radio PTT control, push-to-talk control. So the CAT port on my radio, at least, and what my computer assigned my radio, is COM port 6. And that's for all rig control features. Now, programs such as Ham Radio Deluxe and WinLink Express, those radios don't have a problem with PTT control. So you do not need to run this program if you're using Ham Radio Deluxe or Ham Radio Deluxe or WinLink Express. A little caveat to WinLink Express: you do not need to run this program if you're using WinLink Express for the WinMore WinLink protocol. You don't need to worry about it. You only need to run this program here if you're going to use the UZ7HO packet modem software. That will be the only time you would need to use this program in conjunction with WinLink Express if you're going to send WinLink emails via packet, VHF packet. Otherwise, you don't need to run this program. Anyway, so this is the radio settings. This is the COM port for all my rig control. This is the baud rate from the USB port. And then this is the CIV address. You can configure this on your radio's menu. I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head. So just go into your menus and look up CIV address. And that's the one I use for my radio. And then these are the virtual COM ports that you create and make for that. And these are the COM ports that the application is going to use for PTT control. So if the piece of software you're running has a PTT option, you'll select a serial connection or RTS, request to send connection. Most likely it will be RTS. So you'll select RTS, and then it's going to ask you for which COM port. It will be one of these COM ports you make. Now, you only need to create one COM port. I've created two because I'm doing an experiment with something for another project, which I hope to get working at another time. But you only need to create one virtual COM port for this. So in the piece of software that you're running that you want to have PTT control over your radio, this is the COM port here that you would need to point the software to, which in turn will make it talk to the CAT port for PTT control. So once you have this set up, you'll go ahead and click Open. And once you have that open, you can minimize this, and you're good to go for whatever else. So the program I'm going to show you this with is MultiPSK. MultiPSK is basically a smorgasbord of digital modes for amateur radio. Now I have it set up to take me right away here into the RxTX screen, but let me show you the configuration panel real quickly, and let me just show you what you need to do if you have an ICOM IC 9100 and you want to run VHF packet for stuff. This is the screen when you first install MultiPSK. This is the screen you're going to get. And don't let all these buttons and everything freak you out. I'll break it down what you need to do. First of all, under serial port, you'll need to point it to that virtual COM port that we made it for PTT control. It is not COM port 6. It is COM port 10. So you will point your radio, the software, over to COM port 10. Let's see here. Yeah, so you point this to COM port 10 or whatever COM port your computer assigned for your virtual COM port that you created earlier that I was telling you about. The next thing you need to do is configure the sound card. So your sound card input, make sure you select your radio. I went ahead and already configured this. So this is the IC 9100. It's a USB audio codec. Output, make sure you select your radio from here as well. And for the auxiliary sound card, just select your radio anyway, and you should be good to go. So that's really all you need to configure here. Don't worry about all these other things. And then just go ahead and proceed right away to the TXRX screen. All right, and since we want to do things like we want to access bulletin board systems, BBSs, and whatnot, you'll need to come up here to this window here, and you'll need to select Packet plus APRS. Select that. Come over here. Let me widen this out just a minute so you can kind of see a general area. Over here you have two text boxes. You'll need to input the BBS call sign with the SSID. That's this number here. And there is kind of a national standard for, or an amateur radio standard for bulletin boards. Most BBSs have an SSID of 1. So this is a local BBS here that I will access, and you will put that in your destination. Sender, this is me, my call sign, and I'm going to quickly go to the frequency for this BBS. I'm not on it right now. I just flipped over to it, and quick note, for the 9100, you will need to put, if you're using the USB, internal USB port on the radio, you'll need to put your radio into digital mode, and to do that, since this is FM, just hold the AM FM button on the front panel of the radio, and then in the upper left corner of the display, you'll see a black box with a D inside, and when you see that, that means that you're in data mode, and all the modulation and CIV commands then will travel through the USB port. So make sure that's enabled on the 9100. So now that I'm on the right frequency, 145.070 megahertz FM, and we're in digital mode on the radio, we are ready to connect here. And I'll turn up my volume so you can kind of hear what this sounds like here. All right, let's do this, and I'll give you a kind of a demonstration. So I'm going to connect here to this BBS, which is maybe about 20 miles away. I'm also going to adjust my power because I definitely don't need to run a lot of power to get into this BBS at all. And honestly, you shouldn't. This is a full cycle or heavy duty cycle, full duty cycle, so you definitely don't want to run full power in a digital mode. You can overheat your radio quickly and shorten the life of your finals. So you don't want to do that. So we're going to click connect here, and you'll get to hear what this sounds like, and you'll see what happens. And then I'll explain more of this bottom section here in a minute. Here we go. Radio just keyed up. There it is. You can see the waterfall here, the activity. And there it is. I am now in. I have access to the BBS. If I had any messages waiting for me for my call sign, you would see it show up here. Normally, by the way, the default colors is white background with black text. I changed this for my vision problems. It just makes this easier for me to read. So you can change that down here under fonts right here. The clear button here clears all these panels. So now I'm into the BBS, and I'll type in help here so you can see a list of the commands here, and you'll hear the radio key up and tell the BBS that I want to know what commands are available. So I'll type in help. You type in your query up here, what you want to know. Once you send this, it's going to come down to this box, and then whatever your radio hears is going to be displayed here. So bulletin board systems are kind of like internet of the 1970s and 80s and whatnot. except you would hook up a telephone modem to your computer and dial a phone number, and basically this is a screen you see. So basically we're doing the same thing, except we're doing it over amateur radio frequency through radio waves. Really neat, actually, that you can do this. Can come in handy in a emergency situation. So I'm going to send the help command here. Now the cool thing is, for this program here, there's a keyboard shortcut. I believe it is just the Alt button if you're on Windows. Now I'm actually remoted into this computer from my Mac here, so I have to hold down the function key and then hit the Alt button, and then it's going to send this help command, and then you'll see it move down to this text box here, indicating that that's what's being sent to the BBS right now, and then you should see the list of commands show up down here in this wider window. So here we go. There it is. So there are the commands here that you can do with the BBS here. I don't have any messages for me, but let's see what we've got here. That's data traffic, and nice thing is this is a quiet mode, so you don't need to have your volume on at all. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute my radio. I'm just going to turn the volume all the way down on it because we don't need it. So we can see a list of users that are currently connected to this BBS. So let's see who's on. It's probably just me. So I'm just going to type in U in that window up there, and I'm going to send it. Now you're not going to hear anything because I've turned my volume down, and it's just me signed in there. Let's display some bulletins. Let's see if there's any bulletin messages on this BBS. So we're going to type in the command LB. As you can see here, LB lists bulletin. We're going to type in LB and go. And I know there's some bulletins on here. And there they are. So these are the bulletins. Hey, look, I made a bulletin recently. So let's go ahead and view that. It's message number 217. If you scroll up here a little bit more here, and you can scroll, by the way, with just mouse pad gestures and whatnot. Very convenient. If you type in the R command with a space and then the message number, you can read it. So as you can see, R space N. N represents the message number. So you don't type in N, you just type in the number. So we're going to display message number N. So we're going to do, it's number 217. So we're going to type in R 217, and we're going to send that, and watch what happens. Sending. Radio is talking. Here we are. Okay. So this is a bulletin I made for Skywarn training coming up. And I'll just let you read this here. So this is the bulletin I made regarding Skywarn training. So very good. That's basic BBS access. I can come up here and look at some of the other commands here. We can see what stations have been heard. So I'm going to do a JS command, and we'll see what stations were heard by this BBS. And we'll go ahead and send this command. We're talking, and there's my list. There's a BBS, that W8SAT. There's another BBS, WA8RSA. Yeah. If you see anything with an SSID with it, that usually means it's some sort of system. So remember I said SSIDs of 1 usually indicates a public BBS or a PBBS. And then if I don't know what things with the asterisk mean. This is a Winmore, or not a Winmore. This is a WinLink station. Anything that's with an SSID of 10 usually means it's a gateway for RMS Express. Excuse me, WinLink Express. Yeah. So that's what a BBS looks like in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from this BBS, and to do that, there's 2 ways to do it. You can type in B and send the B, and it will disconnect you. Or you can just come up here and hit the disconnect button. I'll go ahead and do that. As you can see, here's the status. It's awaiting disconnection, and we are disconnected. So we are no longer connected to this. I'm going to go ahead and clear it, and we're back to a clean slate. Let's see if this system is working here. It wasn't working last night. We're going to connect to the same station, but to a different part of it. So we're going to do an SSID of 7. And this usually means a gateway. Using this SSID, if station supports it, will allow you to digipede to other BBSs that might be out of range for you, which is really cool. So we're going to connect to this station again, but with a different SSID for gateway access. So we're going to connect, and we'll see if this works. It was having issues last night. We'll see if it's... nope, it's still down, it looks like. And I can tell this is from the lines here. It's still not working. So, and that's how I know. I'm getting a ton of 1s here. So unfortunately, this gateway is down. Unfortunately. So there is not much I can do. Let me see if I can abort it. Let me send the A command here and see if I can get this to abort. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's working. Someone's going to have to fix that system. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect from it. And we'll wait for the disconnection here. Now this isn't instant. It may take a little bit. Fortunately, it disconnected right away. So, so unfortunately, this gateway is down right now. So we're going to go ahead and clear this. Let me try connecting to a different gateway here in the area, and we'll see if it works. Oops. There we go. Let's see if I can connect to this gateway. I doubt it, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, I might be able to. We'll see here. I'll turn up my power a little bit, see if that helps. Oh, let's see if I can get in. Oh, since I was monitoring here, I can see other BBSs here, which is pretty neat. So, it says I'm connected, but it's not showing me any information, unfortunately. I should be getting some commands, as you saw here earlier. So, I will have to make another video and show you digipeding and gateway access at some other time. This station is always a hit or a miss for me, and I can't recall any other stations that I can get into that have access here, gateway access. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect here, and we'll wait for that command to be acknowledged. And acknowledged. So we're clear. I don't have a list of... I can see maybe this is a... let's see if there's a... well, I might not be able to get into that station. Nope. Okay. They don't have a gateway. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show gateway or digipeating using one gateway to gate into another BBS that your station may not hear very well. Well, actually, WD8 USA. Let me see if I can gate into this one here. That's the nice thing monitoring this frequency. As long as you're in monitor mode here, and you're not connected to anyone, you'll be able to see anyone's packet. So just keep that in mind if you're accessing BBSs. This is not private. This is very public. It goes over radio waves. Anyone with software such as this, decoding software, could easily decode your packets. So keep it amateur radio friendly, as I call it. No foul language, you know, things like that. So, yeah, let me try connecting to this here. What was that called? WD8 USA. Let's see if that one works. Say, whoops. Did not mean to type down there. There we go. I think I got that. WD8. WD8 USA-7. Yeah, okay. Let's see if this connects. I'll watch my radio here and I'll see if I get any response. Well, I do get a response, but it's not very good. May not be able to get into this one. Yeah. It's questionable. Yeah, doesn't appear that. Nope. Okay. See, I connect, but it's just not a very strong signal, so I can't access it very well. Let's go ahead and disconnect from that station, and we'll wait for it to disconnect here. Radio's issuing the disconnect command, and the station acknowledged it, and we're done. Well, that was worth a shot. I will make another video another time demonstrating that feature using gateways for digipeating purposes. Anyway, that's all I've got for this tutorial, so just kind of a quick recap here. Yeah, whoops, sorry about that. Just for a quick recap here, you'll need to download MultiPSK and configure it. But before you do that, you will need to run or download and configure this program and run. If you're running Windows 7 or newer, you'll need to run Advanced Startup and temporarily disable Microsoft's driver signing, so you can create a virtual COM port for PTT control, and then run the software, and then make sure you hit the open button, and also again make sure your radio is on, minimize this and then fire up MultiPSK, configure it, and if it's already been configured, then away you go. Best way to discover BBS information is talk to hams in your area. Some may actually have their own websites. Check club websites in your area. They may have some information for you regarding BBSs. Talk to some guys on a repeater and ask them if they're aware of any bulletin board systems, BBSs in your area, and go from there. It's a lot of fun, and you don't need a general license for any of this. This was all done on 2 meters, and so there you go. That's another mode that technicians have access to. One other thing too that you can do, and I wish I could have demoed it as well, and I would have needed to grab a friend who whose radio is also set up for to access BBSs and whatnot, is basically live chat, keyboard to keyboard, like Facebook Messenger or AOL Instant Messenger, if anyone still uses that. So you can actually do keyboard to keyboard chat, live chat. Really neat. Very neat, actually. So I tried that out a couple days ago, and that was a lot of fun. So, yep. I'll have to make a video on that some other time, too. But anyway, that's all I've got. 73s, everyone, and hope you found this video informative, and I hope to make more videos like this in the future. 73s all. Take care.